really anxious to get started. And our dear friend and neighbor, Lahala Correa, has agreed to offer a pule on behalf of our community to start us off with. Thank you.
Is everybody ready for our meeting?
Hi.
Get ready. Okay, let's bow our heads and let's kind of really, I think this is really important to start because this is going to be a very sensitive subject that's going to come up. So I can feel all kinds of here right now. So we want this to be very successful. And I think it's beautiful having all the community people all together. So I want to feel the good mana through this meeting. Okay? So mahalo for being here. Let's bow our heads. Our Father in heaven, we are so grateful for this beautiful day. We're grateful for all the many blessings. We're grateful for families and friends in our community and organizations that have helped us through this flood. Father, we ask for your blessings, your presence to be upon us at this evening as we go over all that will be discussed here. We ask you to soften our hearts so that we may focus to what is most important, and it's for the place. We're grateful for this place to gather and ask for our kupunas and our elders who have passed to help us through this and to comfort us so that we can make the right decisions for our aina. Bless who all will be speaking, that we all can be heard, and that the words that we use will be kind in the best way possible so that we can be productive today. We're again so grateful for all the help, and I speak for the community, for those who are still working and helping us. Feed from food to our homes, to our mental state, our families. There's so much going on, Father. It has taken a toll on our families, all kinds happening. We ask you, Father, to bless us in the things we stand in need of so that we can do the right things, make better choices for this place, for our life, for ourselves, and for our ohana. Again, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to say pule, and so grateful for this place that we get to gather, a place that we can call home. And we can show respect in this place by showing love and aloha, even when there's challenges. Thank you, Father, for all that we have, and to help to keep us strong and good mind, heart, and spirit at all times as we go through our situation, that you will bless us in the things we stand in need of. And we humbly ask all these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Hold on. I feel like she covered a lot of it, and we want to make time. We want to make sure the speakers have enough time to talk. But I just want to share a few things before we get started. And the first thing is to remind all of you that there is a huge party for Samaritan's Purse who are leaving our community and have been such a blessing. So I was asked to remind you that the party's tomorrow at the Colony, and they have helped so many of us. It'll just be a good time, I'm sure. So that's tomorrow. Tonight, we have a lot of information to get out. And our speakers want to share their information fully so that all of us can have clear and correct and a full picture of what it is that they came here to share with us tonight. And so we have some favors to ask. And the first favor is that we would like to ask all of us to show them care and consideration, which I know you will. But I also know that all of us there are a lot of emotions happening, and we're all still dealing with challenges. And so if we can just try to take deep breaths and be patient, there will be an opportunity at the end of the meeting for questions and also for you to speak directly with the specific presenter that you might care the most about. So with us here tonight is the Department of Health, the Department of Transportation, the Department of Education, and the Department of Land and Natural Resources. And we sort of expect that the first two presenters, who are going to be Department of Health and Dill, that those will be sort of fast. We know that there's more concern, perhaps, and questions and uncertainties about both the road and the status of the school. So we're going to try to get through all four presenters, and then what we're going to do is do some breakouts, but we'll also answer questions generally at the end too. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much in advance for your patience, and if I am correct, I think Department of Health is first. Is that right?
My name is Bill Arakaki. I'm the Conference Superintendent for the Department of Education on Kauai. And I'm going to introduce the members that are presenting so you kind of know their names and who they are. And before I do that, I'd like to recognize we have some guests here. Representative Nadine Nakamura for our legislature. And we also have our County Council, Joanne Yukimura here. Thank you so much for all of you. We all care about the community here. And when Auntie Lahela talked about, the honua of the land, ike honua, ike pilina, it's all about trust and relationship. So today we'd like to really offer you the information and what can be done to support all of you here. When we first had the floods, it was so traumatic, and I remember we were practicing with the satellite school, the tsunami drill going up Powerhouse Road, and who did I see coming up on ATV? Auntie Lahela. So it's so amazing what you folks are doing now, and we're at this point, what's going to happen next. So without further ado, the Department of Health Kauai Community Mental Health Center branch, we have Arcelia Raposo, if you can wave, and we have Ray Cooper. Then from the Department of Land and Natural Resources, we have Kurt Corchal, Administrator and Kauai District Superintendent Anastasia Little, so they're waving right here. Department of Transportation, Ed Sniffen, Deputy Director of Highways, and Larry Dill, Director, Kauai District Engineer, and I'll be here. And we have from the Governor's Office, Carice Gardner, right here. And she's the Governor's Liaison, and Randall Machado, which represents them over. So we're here to represent. Thank you so much. Okay. Department of Health.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening. My name is Ray Cooper. Some of you might remember me because I was here 3 months ago after the flood in the Pablo Rainwoods, walking around in the community, talking to people at the Obaka restaurant, talking about their mental health and how we can help. So here today, I have my coworker, Araceli Raposo, to share with you about the mental health information, because we believe that your mental well-being, your family's mental well-being, then the community's well-being is really important when we go through the recovery still after 3 months, and then it might be a long way to go. But we believe that your wellness is the utmost important. That's why we ask people for us to present here. So they're a little bit nervous, but our series is going to share the mental health information and the resources available on this island. And if you have any specific questions, we are at the table over there to the back. So please come see us at the end.
Thank you, Ray. And thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's really great to see such a nice turnout. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate being here, and as stated, I'm Araceli Raposo. I'm with the Department of Health, the Kauai Community Mental Health Center. And we want you all to know that we at Kauai Community Mental Health provide services to adults, and we have another branch, which is Family Guidance, which provides services to children. In addition, other resources with Department of Health is our 24-hour, 7 days a week crisis line of Hawaii. It's available to all of you. You can call the number. It's a 1-800 number, 753-6879. The State Department of Health is looking to partner also with and secure funding for us to partner with Child and Family Services. They have been here from the get-go, and they have been providing services nonstop, and they continue to be here. So I'd like to encourage anyone who continues to suffer due to the flooding and the negative impact it has had on you to be aware that Department of Health is available to help you. Yet we're not the only resource. We have other avenues that you can explore, which can be with your primary care doctor. You can call your insurance company to guide you and help you to get into some type of therapy. We can talk about the warning signs of stress with counselors and learn coping skills. I know this is also a time where drugs and alcohol can also increase for some folks. And let's be mindful of our children. The fact is that our children are also impacted by the stress. There's no denying that this ordeal, which is not normal, has been happening for over 90 days, and it has disrupted your lives. By now, most of you have likely created some shifts in the different roles and responsibilities, and this can also lead to strains in relationships. I have a list for you to review if you come to the table for survivors that need more help in managing stress. I have a list of what can help and ways to cope, and this has helped many, many people. It's not just specifically for this event or this tragedy. We have lots of information, we have business cards, and again, the 24-hour hotline is available to you, and they will make every effort to help you. And this is for you or any family member that is experiencing a mental health crisis, and they're here to help you. So I encourage you all to call them. And if you have any questions, you can come by at the next session and we can talk story. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. So we're going to have the Eleanor come up and present. Thank you so much.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, before I get started, first I want to thank you guys for giving up your Friday night kauhana to listen to a bunch of government officials and come speak to you. But I do want to say, out of my 29 years at DLNR, this is the first meeting I've come to where there's a 600-pound pig hanging from a tree. So I took a picture of it to show my daughter in country the piñatas are really burly compared to what we have in town. But I want to shift gears and talk to you guys, I guess, about the AINA. You know, you heard about social services, and I know many of you might have participated on Wednesday when Alan Carpenter came and spoke about what we're trying to do at Haena State Park. And so what I want to share with you guys is this. Okay. All right, so I can give you the condensed version of what's going on at Haena. We're racing the DOT right now between the governor's proclamation, which gives us a nimble amount of spending flexibility, and we're trying to get things engaged before DOT finishes the road and we're facing down the hordes of visitors that we know eventually are going to return. So when I was here a few weeks ago meeting with the contractors, I get it. I see what you guys have been dealing with, because the last few times I've been at Haena, it was packed with the 2,000 a day. So I get a sense, even though you guys are in the midst of tragedy, and I feel real bad for those of you that lost homes and jobs and property, but we're going to keep the park open for you guys. We're not going to put up a gate. You guys need this park as much as anybody. We do ask for your kokua though, because the bathroom's hammered. The water line got katooshed by the flood. We're going to work with our contractor on getting a few porta potties out there. The road will be available, and the beach, the trail, Kalala Trail, we got to keep it shut because we're still doing assessments on what it needs. The Lo'i withstood the flood really well, which no surprise, that's what Lo'i are designed to do, withstand water. But we lost the water system, our IWS for our comfort station got really hammered, the integrated wetlands got wiped out. We are going to restore, under this flexibility of the proclamation, both the Allerton and Montgomery cottages, because we need those for staff support as we move forward trying to repopulate the park with more staffing. We're going to start next week. Monday, we're anticipating the contractor being able to start, getting some work done. We're trying to get the contractor to organize a small blessing because we think it's really important before we really get earnest and roll up our sleeves and start trying to restore the park. This place needs a blessing big time, and so we'll work on that. We would have liked a bigger one, but like I said, we're racing the DOT. We're hoping to have things completed by November, which would be the restored parking area under the proclamation.
Graveyards over there.
What's that?
What's going to happen to our family's graveyards?
The graveyards?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Right now...
That's not in your master plan.
No, right now we're just focusing on just the parking area. We're not going to hit over into the archaeological sites in the shrubs there. It's going to be...
Cars will park on our family graveyards.
What's that?
The cars are going to park on our family, our ancestors' graveyards.
Only in this, where the parking lot was
That
before.
park was our ancestors.
Okay, you and I have to talk after about that, because, we...
Well, why don't we go up to everybody? It's what the meeting's for.
Well, because other people want to hear some other stuff. I would love to talk to you after about the parking area itself, but that's where the gravel's going to go down, and we have to try to put in a turnaround in order to deal with shuttles, because I know that there's a lot of members of the community that are interested in trying to get the shuttle system going, and so we're going to set up the park so that we can receive it. We're not certain how that's going to work yet. That's a management element that is down the road. Right now, we just got to work on getting parking lot restored, the comfort station working, the boardwalk, and, okay. So if you guys already know all this, that's really what my discussion is. I don't know if everybody knows this, but that's the plan. We're shooting for November. We're going to do the best we can to try to get everything in place.
It's ours.
Okay. So with that, I think that's pretty much it for me in terms of timeline and getting the park back together.
Thank you. And again, the concerns that is coming from many of you here, we're going to have time to address that. And I know, we want to have everyone hear the same thing. We want that communication to be clear. So whatever comes out will be documented and sent forth to you. Thank you so much. So we're going to have Department of Transportation here and present. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. So good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Larry Dill. I'm the district engineer for the island of Kauai for state highways. I'm here with our deputy director, Ed Sniffen. We also have some of our consultants here tonight, so I ask, as was said before, to do what you can to hold your questions, and we'll talk with you and answer all your questions as best we can with the time we have allowed to us tonight. We gave handouts. I brought 200 handouts. Hopefully everybody either has or can see a handout. There's a lot of information in there. I don't intend to cover what I'm going to say tonight because of time constraints. But please look at all that stuff, because a lot of good information tells you what we were faced with, what we've been doing, and what we hope to try to achieve before this is all over. What I will focus on, two things here then, is first of all the convoy schedule. I know the convoy schedule for a lot of folks is very inconvenient, to say the least. We've had a lot of comments from a lot of folks in the community, and we've done our best to come up with a schedule. Everybody has it in your hands, and there's a large poster over there that's got the times on it, which hopefully is something that it's not going to be perfect for everybody, but hopefully it's going to work for everybody here on out. So I will tell you one comment I had on the schedule already is a request to make the first trip instead of Hanalei to Wainiha to be the other direction. I'm sorry, Waikoko to Wainiha. Instead, do the first trip coming out from Wainiha to Waikoko. So by show of hands, does that have a level of support from everybody? Would be a better idea? Yeah, okay, thank you. We can certainly do that. Thank you. Okay. Any other particular questions, suggestions, comments on the convoy? You can break it afterwards. Please bring them forward, and we'll do our best to see what we can do. But we've made a strong attempt to add a lot more convoys, especially during the evening for folks, and also some more convoys in the morning. Also on the page, you can see we're showing you as the work progresses, we anticipate some night work. So during the night, because we're going to get into a phase, we're going to have large rigs on the road. They're difficult to move off the road. And so we're going to have only one break during that night work instead of the multiple convoys we have right now. So it's going to be one impact when we get into that phase of the work. Okay, so that's the convoys. Oh, I'm sorry, I will mention also, if and when we get into the bridge work, which is the plan to do right now, at the end of that phase, in order to complete each of the bridges, we'll have to do a weekend closure. I'll get to the bridges in a minute, please, but I'm just saying, for the convoys, okay, so for the convoys, we're going to do a weekend closure, which would mean that we're going to do a convoy on Saturday morning, and the next one wouldn't be till Sunday evening. What we would provide in those situations. Okay, so what we would provide in these situations is a shuttle and a ferry system. So that there'll be a park and ride set up.
Okay, let's have him present his information and then the concerns we can go further. Okay, thank you.
There will be a park and ride set up at either end of the zone so that you can be picked up by a shuttle, taken to the bridge under construction, ferried across the stream, where another shuttle will take you to a park and ride on the far side. We're going to try to limit the weekend closures to as little as 3, but there may be as many as 6. Okay. Now I would like to talk about the bridges.
My family, yeah, and I understand what you're saying, but my family, let's just try to get them to Kauai, and then let's address all that, because I understand you guys are up to this, if you get through with them. Let's just get through with everybody. Okay? That's a sensitive one we need to hear.
You guys want to talk about the bridges? Okay.
No, you know
See,
what?
here's the thing.
They ain't got nothing to talk about the bridges. They ain't doing nothing with the bridges. That's it.
Historical.
We know that there are many concerns about the bridge work in particular. I myself share those concerns, which is why they decided I wasn't a good facilitator for the meeting tonight, because I have an opinion. And I'm glad that many of us have that opinion. Here's the thing. Bill Arakaki has a lot of information that is really important for parents. School is supposed to start on August 6th. And he has information about the schools that are going to be out here as well. Do you guys want to stop right now and get into it about the bridges, or would it make sense to let Bill Arakaki speak about the school issues and then we'll come back to the bridges?
Thank you so much. So, thank you. So, I'm here to support the families, just to let you know. So I have good news. First, we have a guest here. He's the new principal at Hanalei Elementary School, Mr. Tony Sainz, right here. So, he's from Contentious, Alaska, so he knows about rural communities. He wanted to be here to meet some of you. And we also have the Sasa and the office assistant, Gina and Val there to support the effort. There's more questions regarding education. We're going to be at the table. So number one, when we look at the students that are living on this side of the island, there's about 66 students, and it just depends if others have moved over or not, or went over to live on past the Hanalei side. So there's about 13 high school students, and there's 6 that we know of as far as middle school students, and the rest are elementary. So the big question was, as you see the new schedule for the convoy, and thank you so much, Larry, Department Trans, because we have opportunity to, as the road is open for our smaller buses to come through, they make the weight and the width and so on. So the families that want to have their children attend Hanalei School will have bus service. We're working on the times in which the buses will pick up past the checkpoint to make it back out at 7:20. So this will allow, not so much waking up so early. It will allow your child to get to the school by 7:45, have breakfast, and be able to have a normal schedule. And as you notice on the convoy back into Wainea, and there's a 2 o'clock coming in. So what we're going to help with the families is that if you're at Hanalei School, we'll have a bus that will take you at about 1:45 to get in line to take students back so that they make the 2 o'clock entry. And that's kind of like golden because school is done at Hanalei at 2:05. So it'll be about a 30-minute, time where we need to give extra work and support for students because of that. So the school is willing to support that. Now, students that do attend Hanalei Elementary School and you have parents that are working and cannot make it to pick them up or take them back into at 2 o'clock, or that are not regular buses, we have after-school programs that we pay and support families through the homeless liaison, like we had this past May, because you're displaced, to help pay for that support for after-school services. So when you need to get out at 5:30 or 6:30, we have programs to support your children, and then you can come pick them up and take them back in. So that's for Hanalei Elementary School. Okay, so parents, you have the option, and I know some of you got more work on that side and all these kind of things. Now, as far as the middle and high school, with the services will be provided. We'll have the bus schedule for them to exit through the pass and then go to Kapa Middle or Kapa High. Again, there's 6 students in the middle and about 13 at the high school. We can adjust the bell schedule for the middle school students to get them back on a 2 o'clock. That would mean we'd have to release the students at 1 o'clock to make about an hour's drive back to the checkpoint and return. Now with that, the principal and the school has assignments and other work through the devices, your laptop, iPads, and so on to support the children if you parents choose to have them go in the morning and come back that way. Also, if we can't make the 2 o'clock entry back into, we also have programs to support the child for the 5:30 and 6:30 that they need to return. Okay? So, no, that's true. So, as far as the high school, same thing. Mr. Hamada has offered, there's no penalty for students that cannot make it across. We have the bus service to pick them up to take them to the high school. And the high school students are a little bit different because they have clubs, sports activities that they can participate that may take them all the way to 5 and even beyond for practice and so on. So if they're not able to make it over from Wainea and Haena, like last year, we have the online program where students can actually connect and do their assignments, and teachers can monitor and give the feedback and so on. So that is available also. So for Kapaa High School, like last year, students can come. They won't be penalized as far as attendance. It won't affect as far as their summer seniors. We have 5 seniors as far as the senior agreement and so on. So the schools have provided that opportunity for, as we have that convoy schedule that's really helping us to do that. Now, number 2, I requested to the state superintendent as far as resources to open a satellite school. So that is also available. So parents, if you're I know about the trauma, and even for me, every time I see the cloud over the mountain, it starts raining, I start looking at my gauges and everything like that. I know you guys must feel the same way. So we are opening a satellite campus, again, like we did in May. This is a DOE satellite campus, so I'm in the process of finding teachers to teach and support. The teacher in charge, we have a custodian that was working and helping us out, we have office support and so on. And so we are...
$6,000 a month?
We need to negotiate the prices, yes. So the good thing is that we have funding that the state will help provide to do that for the people that need that service here on this side of the island. So tonight, what's going to happen is we have a list of your child's name, and let us know if you're going to want to attend the satellite school, so we can make sure we know what the numbers are. And the others, we have that opportunity to do the convoy in and out. Now, I know there is a question we're going to know, is it a charter school? The next phase or transition, because that is an effort that many of you have been really looking at. So I cannot speak on behalf of the charter school because they're another organization which is funded by DOE, but I'm not their supervisors. I am running a satellite school under the DOE. I'll be supervising and making sure as far as curriculum and DOE procedures and all of that. Yes, the charter school people, I've asked them for a list of people that are living on this side of the island that can teach and help us with the satellite school. So if they meet the qualification and requirements of the DOE, I'm able to hire them. So we're doing that. We need to get the numbers of students, maybe high school, middle, or elementary, that our parents wish to have them attend the satellite. We have a sign up here to do that. So,
what about the teachers, bro?
Yeah, so the teachers, we're looking at people that are here. We had the ones that were did the satellite school. So we have similar names. So I need to make sure that they're qualified through the DOE requirements, all of that. So we're doing that. Yeah. Yes, they gotta have the credentials, yes.
I just want to say something about the kids that are going to Hanalei School in the morning. The bus has to pick them up by 7 so they can have breakfast, because if they get back to school after 7:30, they don't eat.
Yes, so we made accommodations. Yes, definitely we gotta eat, because if you don't eat, how can you study, right? So the school we're having, when they come in, the breakfast will still be served to them if there are some kind of delay coming over. So yes, even though there is a time that you know about, we are making accommodations for those students to come over. They will be fed. They will be fed. And also for the satellite school, we are providing lunch. Again, thank you to Laura Richards, Opaka Paka, and Hanalei Colony Resort to really support us on this. So right now, I requested funding for at least the first quarter, which is on to October. Now, again, what happens and what's going on, we get updated by different agencies. If there is a need to continue, then I'll request again. But right now, we're in a good place as far as offering, thank you Department of Transportation, as far as the convoys. We can do a schedule where the buses can come in. It's a smaller buses that have been riding anyway, and we have the opportunity for the satellite. And of course, with the transition, with the charter school that's been talking about here, that will happen. So now, as far as the charter school approval and all of that, we do have a state charter commission board that does that. We have the charter commission of the school that is working with them. Their board is in transition, so they need to, continue with their efforts. So that is their kuleana, and they will let you know as far as where they're at on the charter school. But for me, I am supporting the DOE satellite school. Yeah.
Do you have a start date?
Yes. we want to start like the day we have a calendar back there for you as far as start date. August 6th is when students return. So same for the satellite. So what I'm trying to do is get the employment, get the numbers, and we're going to get started. So again,
what happens if it down the line 6 months, however long?
Well,
the charter school falls.
Yeah.
Then what would happen?
Well, that's an issue because by the time hopefully the charter school works and there's funding and so on. But for me,
Do you have funding for a full year?
no. Well, I'm gonna have to ask depending on the road and things like that. So my thing right now, yeah, right. So
I don't see how that can work.
yeah. Well, right now, I think the needs of the parents is number one, we have opportunity to convoy in and out. Number two, we have the satellite for funding at least the first quarter, and if there needs to be, because what the construction is not working, I'll request more. Okay, but this is all for you folks, the families. Whatever we need to provide that education that we are obligated for as a Department of Education, I will fight for you and support that. Okay, now I have I have great support from the people out here, so we'll answer individual questions when we have our table there. I have a listing of the vice principals, administrators, counselors, numbers. If you have any questions, if you're having, so what is my credits, how's my child going to do and certain things, we have an information sheet there. Also on that sheet, we have our, when we talk about mental health services, our schools provide that for our children and families. So we have the numbers of our psychologists and social workers that you can contact anytime, and we'll provide that resource. Like last year, when we come out every week to provide counseling and have those resources come to you. So we'll do the same again on a weekly basis, okay? We really feel that because now there is probably things that we need to address with the children, what they're going through, we're going to support you with that.
What is the best way to find out the bus schedule for our children?
Okay. Okay, so right now we got the schedule, and it looks like they're going to change it in and out. I already gave that original, we're going to give the updated one to our bus transportation officer, and they're looking at what sites. There's 15, sorry for taking so long, there's 15 bus stops that's on record as far as from Waikoko to here, or Powerhouse Road. So in order to make the time to get out, we're trying to condense which is the closest, maybe 5 or 7, so that we make the time, so that we can pick up and get out. Yeah, so that schedule will be forthcoming before we start school. Yeah, because we just got the times, and thank you again, the times work well for the elementary, and we'll adjust for the middle and high schools. So that schedules will come out soon. Yeah. But the seniors, right now, we're looking at the court. If we have to go a semester, we will. Then we start, again, according to Mr. Amara, we do have the online Infinite Campus curriculum with the teachers interact with the students that's available. Now, somebody mentioned, well, what happened about the whole year? I hope that we're able to get everything done and fixed before the year is done. So we're at a good place right now. We have opportunity to do that. Yes, sir.
One more question. How many qualified teachers do you have for this satellite school?
Okay, right now we have 3. I want to hire 4 plus a teacher in charge, and we're looking for the office people. So I need 2 more that are qualified.
One more thing. You have a place for the kids?
Yes, we do.
Where is this?
Yes, we're going to be again located at Honolulu Kauai Resort.
And they're going to be once again on the floor.
Yeah, we're bringing in, the floor, we have the carpet for the reading, we'll bring in whatever furniture we need.
They're growing older.
Yeah.
They learn things like in the real world,
Yeah.
Not the preschool though.
Yeah, so you're talking about curriculum, we'll align that curriculum, definitely. Okay, so we're going to have our table back there, and more questions you can ask, but I need the parents to indicate what they want to do. And again, thank you so much. You guys probably know my phone number already because people have called me already. If you have any questions, you can call and you can email me and so on. And just to let you know, we're opening school, so we're kind of busy, so we want to be able to do everything on time for the families here. Yeah, right. So my telephone number is 274-3502, and we are looking at how we can communicate on social media or whatever mechanism so everybody can see that. Yeah, because it is very important to do that.
Okay,
And I'll be out here.
One more question, please. So we are creating the charter school that is going to be sustainable and permanent on the North Shore. So children, please, if your parents would like to take you, which I highly suggest because satellite school is here today, gone tomorrow, we want to focus on a sustainable school that will be forever. So if we can talk about that.
Yeah. So actually, for the charter school, the discussion would be with the charter commission and the board. I have supported charter school like the Dr. Blackwell over there. So to me, whatever way we can educate our children in different ways, it supports our economy, our island, and so on. So okay.
The number you gave us doesn't work.
Two,
I just called you.
Oh, no, that's my office number. That's my office number. Okay. That's my office number. Nobody's there right now. Come see me later. Okay. Come see me later. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. I would like to start this day off that as we're looking at the bridges, we're going to rehabilitate the Waioli Bridge. We're not going to replace the Waioli Bridge. That bridge, it turns out, is in much better condition than the other bridges. So as we rehabilitate it, we'll be removing the unsound material, we'll replacing it with new material, putting a carbon fiber wrap on it, and it'll end up with the same capacity as the Hanalei Bridge. It's just down the road. So the Waioli Bridge is going to stay in the exact same place, the exact same configuration, the exact same size it currently is. So essentially no changes to the Waioli Bridge configuration, shape, size,
You're
location.
building a pad right next to it. Looks like you're adding on another bridge, or a double lane bridge.
So the pad next to it is to support a crane that we need to lift some of the materials there while we're looking at. So that will all be gone away when it's done. Okay. I would like to mention the other two bridges and the whole reason that we're looking at those. In order to complete the work that's down the highway, we need to, at the completion of those road repair locations, in order to stabilize the slopes, we need to bring in large boulders, 2 to 3 ton boulders. In order to manipulate the boulders, manage the boulders.
That's
all we need.
Don't want to hear him. Talk about the bridges.
We want to hear him.
No, they don't need to be.
Keep talking,
Do the bridges in 2 years.
Okay, so in order to complete the work we're trying to get down the slope, we need to bring heavy equipment and loads of boulders out there. So what we're looking at is building bridges that will be able to keep the existing bridges in place and in service for almost the entire length of the project, which would mean we wouldn't have to put in a temporary bridge and have all of the issues associated with a temporary bridge. So because the plans for those bridges, we're going to be just outside, immediately outside the existing bridge, which would make them wider than the existing bridges. But the reason for that is because we're going to build them right outside. But they're going to be 1-lane bridges. They're going to be 18 feet between the walls. For your frame of reference, the bridge that's right by the Hanalei Colony Resort is 18 feet 3 inches between the walls. So we're going to build bridges that'll be 18 feet wide between the walls. We're going to put in a 2-foot wide, 12-inch curve on either side. So the travelway is only going to be 14 feet. So they are going to be 1-lane bridges. So that is the proposal on the table right now for discussion. We look at other options as hard as we can. We looked at barging in materials and equipment. I spoke to the barge operator. You may know the Robinson family that operates the barge that's owned by the Navy. And I asked him about possible use of the barge. It does have a very large weight capacity, but it's going into dry dock September 7th. He says it's supposed to come out first week of November, but he says it never comes out when they say it's going to come out. And he says between November and May, the surf will prevent him from getting into the beach anyway on the North Shore. So unfortunately, that is not an option. So we are looking at all the options, and when we break out, I'll be happy to entertain all your questions after the completion of this. Okay, thank you.
You should have come here to ask the opinion. Even though you know, you think you know, you should have come here and asked. What do you guys think? What would you guys like? Not this is what we're doing. That is not wrong.
What I'm sharing with you is what the current proposal is after a lot of input from the community and discussion. We're going to break out, and I want to hear your input to that proposal. Okay? That's why we're out here, to listen to you and to hear you and do our best we can for your family. Thank
So, in my opinion, the most important thing that I heard him say was that he is ready to hear our input.
We heard it a long time already.
And
You're not listening to us. He's telling us what he like do, what they like do. It's time for us to talk now.
He heard us last
Bro, we
Monday.
are accountable and
Larry, things never change. Same paperwork, same breath, you got the same shit.
You come here for telling bullshit again.
We told you, no touch our bridges, period. Okay? What filters you gotta take?
So what they have suggested, what they've suggested that they would like to do is they would like to offer people an opportunity to talk about the specific topics that they care the most about right now. And I suspect that most of us want to talk about the DOT issues with the road and the bridges. However, some of us may want to talk with Bill Arakaki about the school options and systems. And where are you going to be, Bill? So if you want to talk to Bill, you can leave with him and go over there so that you guys can talk about that. And Department of Health is at their table over here, and they're ready for you to talk if you need those services or information. Okay, and Amy's going to talk really quickly, and then we're going to break out. I think we're going to keep DOT here, okay?
Before everybody go up into the different sections, I'd like to share some vital information. Aloha, everybody. Aloha. Aloha. How are you guys today?
Mai kai.
Okayumi ao kia aina o ku'une. World Patent 6642, Wainea. 4885, World Patent, Konohiki. Ai. Mahalo.
Remember, you in Hawaii, people.
Yeah. Okay, don't get to this. We don't belong over here doing this because we already had asked them for a consultation process. You guys did ignore us. You guys was very rude to Auntie Louise and our representatives of our Native Hawaiian families. And by law, you guys are obligated to follow these things. Larry Dill, who's been trying to contact you, all this kind of stuff. Sarah Adams, all this, everybody. You guys ignore us on this Native Hawaiian consultation process. That's why I'm here. As one Konihiki member of our families.
Why we here?
If I'm gonna have to bust out my badge to show how, as Tribal Historic Preservation Officer, ACHP. Huh?
You got the document, bro.
So, let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. Because after the flood, there's many monies that came in. Yeah? Many monies came in. And just like let you guys know, a lot of our people, all of us is still suffering. And the priority is not the bridges or anything you guys will go after. It's what our priority, what our needs are. And you, if you guys are our delegates, our county members, and everybody, whoever else is, this should be you guys' priority. Right? So the first thing we're going to talk about. Number one. Everybody can go look this up. Felicia, you know this real well, yeah? It's called the Native Hawaiian Consultation Process. The Section 106, which you guys had ignored. Huh?
That's what they do best.
Here it is, right in the face.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it tells. Everybody go home, go do you guys research, yeah? I'm going to show you guys this information, these documents. They're supposed to consult with us before even getting any money or even doing research for getting any of these findings of what they're doing on our lands. But you guys just coming over here, you guys getting paid. Huh?
Sleeping in bed all night. While we suffering.
Wait, yeah, it gets better, and it clearly states in here. We're supposed to have a Native Hawaiian consultation process and members of the community, which is all of us, prior to getting any funding or any plans or any kind of consultation and or any proposed projects. But like, you know, it looks like they already get their projects already handled already and what they like present to us. They're not negotiating with us, they're not consulting with us, they're bypassing this process right here, and then it's a violation of federal law. Just to let you guys know, we have a team that is looking at these things too, okay? Okay, that's just one. There's this section 106. Then you get the Tribal Historic Preservation Act, which is all of us, our families are protected under this act. There's 78 agencies, federal agencies, state, county, and you guys have been served many times, cease and desist orders. Okay? And of course, we have the Wailua case study. Okay, everybody, Wailua case study, yeah? Wailua case study. No, it has to do with the family, Shelby. No, yeah, it's Hyanna. Oh, you guys gotta listen. No. Do you guys know what you guys are talking about? I'm trying to share this on behalf of the families. Oh, whatever. Wait, no, relax. It's an advisory council. Advisory council. Advisory council is all the family members who have to have consultation before they go out. Let me talk. Let me talk. Look. I'm letting you guys know. I'm letting you guys know that they're not following the process. U.S. Department of Defense, okay, that protects our interests. Protects our interests. Let me tell. We had tried scheduling with the families and they ignored us.
Who's still on the mic? Who's still on the mic? Who's still on the mic? You let him talk.
Okay.
Let him talk. Chill.
Don't be against me. Don't be against me.
Cool down.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Don't be against me.
Hold on, please. Kuli. Do you guys remember what Kapu Aloha means? Where our Na'au is? Okay, right now, we're having a fucking hard time. Okay? We living on this road and we getting our ass kicked. We all under duress. Yeah. And okay. So one thing, let's just go back to the beginning. Thank you, Auntie.
In closing, these are laws that they're supposed to follow, okay? Federal laws. They're supposed to negotiate with us first, okay? That's all. In closing. The families first. Negotiate with the families first. And that's all. These are laws. Go ahead and do you guys research, you guys homework. Mahalo.
Okay, one thing, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry if we have ever offended, hurt, and violated. But as you can see, 95% of the Hawaiians were killed. So this is the last of the last.
The last of the last.
Okay? So the first thing we gotta realize is not $1 was paid to our Hawaiians and our men who worked on that road. Not $1 from the beginning. So before we talk about the bridges, Larry, we better talk about the mountain. Because the mountain's gonna come down again. Or the volcano's gonna come again. Or we're gonna have a tidal wave. So you either can be pono or you can be out. Be pono. We are pono. Okay?
The state never paid the
So let's talk about when you gonna pay our workers. Okay? So when you come up, you tell them, this is when we're gonna pay you because you guys kill yourself, you broke your machines, you broke your ropes, you broke your back from the beginning, not $1 came yet. So before you go, bridges, what, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? What's the bridge fucking, sorry. What's the budget on the bridge? Okay, how about 1 million to the workers of work done? That might help the next discussion.
You guys get paid a security guard.
That's what we want to know. Not what you're going to do with our bridges.
All right, so any other time?
Consultation, hello. Just ask first and meet with the Hawaiians first before you guys do what you guys like. Hello.
So here's the thing.
On the last slide. They never answered that.
I think it is a really good great opportunity that we have tonight to let the agencies know the challenges that we are experiencing and the opinions that we have about the work that has been proposed.
But they're going to hear us, but not listen.
I shared.
They've been hearing us for years. But they don't listen.
So here's the thing.
No, I like it.
So it hasn't changed. He still hasn't told us what is he doing with the landslide. That's what we want to know. We know what's happening with the road. We want to know what is he planning to do with the landslide. Is the work that he's going to do going to be for longevity, or is it a band-aid?
So, Auntie, do you want to hear from him right now on that, or should we continue to allow other people to share their concerns?
You're not supposed to have it. You're not supposed to have it. You're supposed to ask
He's telling us the same bullshit, so why got nothing to say?
So the concerns that I personally have heard expressed so far is that they have missed the 106 consultation process. They're not recognizing other established processes that are to protect Native Hawaiian rights and interests. And there's concern for the workers that worked on the road, the community workers that worked on the road that didn't get compensated. And there's a concern about the landslides, right? So that's 4 concerns. Larry, do you have someone writing these concerns down? Are you taking? Okay, great.
Oh, he pulls out a pencil? Are you fucking kidding me, Felicia?
Fly through those bridges, or the double bridges. It has nothing to do with the road.
So
tell us what you're going to do with the landslide.
So I want to repeat what Auntie just said, because since I have the mic. She said, and they're using the disaster recovery and repair as an excuse to scratch the existing 1-lane bridges. Did I get that pretty correct?
No, they're using this disaster to push the bridges through, which has nothing to do with fixing the road.
Okay.
And only to do with the double bridges.
So I'd like to just ask.
That is the truth.
I'd like to just ask if, by a show of hands, so we can show the Department of Transportation, how many people here are concerned about the proposed improvements or replacement of the 1-lane bridges specifically? Show of hands if you are concerned or opposed to the proposal to replace. Okay. So
75%.
So we have 5 concerns that have been expressed by the community so far, Larry. I'm wondering if anyone else would like to take a moment briefly to come up and share any additional concerns that have not been expressed yet.
I would like Larry Dill to finish his proposal.
Okay.
He has a voice. He even had his voice. He's up there lit. Everybody wants to hear my proposal. We may not agree with it. I don't agree with it. Okay, Larry. We need to hear his proposal. Everyone here, especially the DOT, has
support. So we have.
Come on! Wake up!
You kids!
Oh, let him finish.
So okay. The question that I just put out was, does anyone have any additional concerns that they would like Larry to try to address before he starts speaking again? We have 5 concerns out there already.
Erosion.
Erosion.
It's happening every year more.
Okay, so ongoing erosion to prevent it happening in the future, right? Okay, another concern?
Road closures on the weekend.
Road closures on the weekends. Did you see the new schedule?
Double jobs. Okay, you guys can't be making your schedule for the closures around your guys' schedule. This is people's families out here. It's not about money. It's about the community that lives out here. Okay.
Are we on right now?
So we've got 6 concerns out on the table. Or is there anything else before Larry comes up? Do we want to hear from him on addressing these concerns? Tintin, one more.
Are we under martial law? Because I feel like we are.
Yeah, we are.
Are we ready to hear from Larry again? Can I suggest that so that we can make some progress before before it gets dark, if we could allow Larry to speak on and hopefully to address the concerns to the extent that he is able to.
The first, I think, question was about the Section 106 process, part of the National Historic Preservation Act. Whenever we get federal aid, we're required to comply with many federal laws, including Section 106, which includes consultation with the community and includes consultation with parties like Native Hawaiian organizations. For this project, because it's an emergency and it's federally funded through the Federal Highways Administration, they allow us to go through an expedited process. So we had multiple, it's in the handout, the dates of all the consulting meetings that we had with the public. There were some at Hanalei School, and there were also some at Haleihalawai. And we had the Native Hawaiian organizations out there, and some were just open to the public. So it was an expedited process immediately we went through because of the emergency nature of the project. Okay?
Larry,
That's a lie.
why don't you answer what Mahina said about why the kids that jumped to action to help do the road, where did they not get paid?
Let me get through these questions, please, and then I'll come back to you.
You keep saying that, but you don't do it.
Answer the question.
At the 106 meeting.
Oh, yes.
He was one of them.
Okay, so after the event occurred, as you all know, many local volunteers jumped into action and worked on clearing the debris from the highway. We did, when we recognized that, it was a little difficult for us because we had to find a licensed contractor for them. It was outside of the normal scheme of events for hiring a contractor with federal funds. So we had to find a contractor, and Mr. Bittner, thank you very much, was able to work with us. So he has submitted all the information, took a little back and forth. It's a federal job, and unfortunately there's a lot of paperwork you got to go through. All that information has been approved and sent to Oahu. We should see payment within a week. Okay. Again, I want to say thank you to those guys that responded. They were very helpful in getting the highway open again for everybody. Okay. I tried to say this, and actually it's in your handout. The reason we're doing this project is we need to do it in order to support the heavy loads that we have to transport out there of equipment and materials to get out to complete the work. Okay? There's no subterfuge here, there's no thing we're trying to slip something into the project. Because these bridges are in poor condition, and you can see we've got pictures up there showing the bridges, and they cannot support the loads that we need to bring out here. And we're still working on this because I know a lot of people have concerns to see if there's any other way. I've talked to the barge operator. We've looked at an acro bridge option. Acro bridges are not impossible, but acro bridges would likely be there at least 5 or 6 years because of this project, the Wainiha Bridges project we're looking at, and then also coming back to the 3 one-lane bridge projects. And we've had a lot of response back from the community that there's not a desire to have temporary bridges in place for 5 or 6 years, which would also have to go through wetlands and have significant environmental impacts. So this solution we've got on the table is a way that we think we can minimize the impacts for everybody and get them done as soon as possible.
How do we go take out the bridges from?
Anything over 10 or 8 tons, not belong on the bridge.
Okay, so the repair work that we're doing is a well-established means of road repair. It's been used many places around the country. We're going to we need to stabilize the slopes with those large boulders I was talking about a moment ago in order to prevent erosion of those slopes happening. For other locations that are happening around the island, we have a separate shoreline protection program that we're identifying locations that can be susceptible to erosion, and we're putting in plans to protect them. But the work that we're doing now is solid engineering work and construction work that will protect those slopes from erosion.
Where's the boulders going? Where are you taking the boulders?
We need accountability on
Stay
that.
here,
Where are they going?
Okay, right now, the plan, if we go forward with the replacement of the bridges, we're talking about weekend closures. So I'll try not to get into a whole lot of detail, but in order to build the bridges, we're going to build the parapet walls immediately outside the existing bridges. And then when it comes time to finish it, we have to come back and put precast planks in order to create the deck. That's when they're going to be closing the bridge and completing the work.
You said it's 5 years. So you're saying that for 5 years, you're not going to have a weekend?
No. We're only going to have...
That's what you just said.
The 5 years. The 5 years are if we don't go with the permanent option right now. If we go with the temporary option right now, you'll have it for 5 years. The temporary option will be there for 5 years. I totally agree. Not going to be temporary. No, this is something we don't disagree on. This is something we don't disagree on. Those bridges have to be replaced. Those bridges are in poor condition. Right now, if we don't do something now, it's going to be just like Wainea. This is a 100-year-old bridge. Bridges are built with life cycles. This one hit their life cycle. It's a 100-year-old bridge. Historical. So the 3 bridges in Wainea, the 3 bridges are in Wainea are an example of that. Those 3 bridges that we dropped the 3 acros on, an example of the situation. The last thing we want to do is have these bridges falling apart. We got to rip them out, impact the community again, and drop in acro bridges. That's the last thing. It's absolutely. It's our job to ensure we look at the condition of the bridges, and this is the top 2 of the top 4 bridges in the state that we got to take care of. From the overall perspective, again, I totally understand the concern. Totally understand the concern. My job is to make sure the system is continuous. That everybody who drives on it can be safe. That's what the system is.
Why the system?
The system is the roads. It has to be continuous. You gotta be able to get in. If the bridges are not there, there is no system. So the overall intention is to make sure that we keep this roadway safe. To make sure that we address these bridges when we should. These bridges were already in the process. We were already in the process of consulting on the bridges for a future project. But because of this emergency situation, it makes total sense to do it right now. Total sense to ensure that we help with the recovery process. Not just for the roads. We can't even get big trucks out for the waste that's out here. It's going to help the county recover as well. It's going to help DOE get the kids to school. This is for the whole community. The whole community. Absolutely. That's absolutely. This is absolutely. This is the whole thing. We're looking at everybody. Hey, again, we're going to agree to disagree right now, because I disagree with you. These bridges need to be done. This is why we're moving forward to propose this to the federal government, who is looking at it with SHP. We went through the process. We went through the 106 process on this, and we made sure that we followed suit, because we need to do that to account for federal funds. Now, we could have just used the state emergency money. If we did that, governor's proclamation says I don't need to do nothing after that. I don't have to do anything. But we went through the whole process to make sure that we do this. So this is the discussion. Again, this is not a convenient time to do this. This is the time to do this. It's the time to ensure that we can address the facilities right now. We're going to agree to disagree. The weekend closures we're limiting to 3. 3 closures. So when Larry was giving his presentation, he was talking about accommodations that we would have, ferry accommodations that we would have to ensure there's some kind of connection. Because it's too big. The stuff we need is too big. Okay, again, the intent for us is to get you guys back to a normal life by October. That's only 6 months. That's 6 months we'll try to turn this out. No, there is no way to stretch this out. We got to get this done. We have to get this done to get back everybody out. No, again, there is no way for us to build those bridges without shutting down for the weekend. It's not like we want to, we have to. To make sure that we take out those decks, to make sure we can put in new ones, we have to.
Like listen now.
Yeah. Charge us more taxes.
Our DOT officials have moved the conversation outside so that they can have a conversation. What I would like to suggest is that if you have concerns about the information that was provided tonight, that you go to find out what the process is going to be for input.
They're like collect money for the church. Money to bring these food boxes down to that project. That's what the movement is all about.
So once again, the DOT representatives have moved outside the pavilion, so they're having a separate conversation over there, and if you'd like to join that conversation.
Not a good idea. A lot of stuff going on.
It's not going to happen now, but
I have one.
Okay, make sure as far as the education questions, we're at the table here. For these parents, if you're going to sign up your child for the satellite school, please go to the ladies there and indicate your child's name and that you wish to join the satellite school.
Tintin, do you want to say something?
I think the master plan is they're going to widen the bridges to bring the buses down so they can start charging tourists at the toll booth. It's going to be it's going to be like Hanauma Bay for tourists. And us Hawaiians, us Kanakas, we're not going to get to do our cultural practices in our own home, in our own land. Now our ancestors are buried there. They don't care. They're just going to fucking build right over them. That's what I have to say. And I'm not for that shit. I'm over it. Done with that shit.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Love you. I just think what I want to say is I don't think this is
everyone has to just get more educated about what's really going on, what the status is of Hawaii, and
that's a way they can.
our given rights,
They build something. Oh, it works. You know, it's
just learning the law.
It's a functional bridge, and now they're gonna bring it to tour bus
start to do.
for the master plan.
That's what it seems, because a lot of people
and
get
then
the.
they're gonna put a toll booth
You have the heart.
somewhere over there.
They
And
got
charge
the.
people money. They might let us.
Some of them have the know-how, but right now it's got to be
nobody
like
own the land. Kilku own the land.
respectful.
We're just caregivers of the land. And
Kind of like a respectful, like seeing eye to eye.
been there for
Everybody,
generations.
whether you're bloodline or you're not.
Before
We all
before white
live
man
here.
even stepped
We all
here.
love this place just as much
So,
as
what they're trying to
someone who's
propose
been
is
here
like, it's not it's
for
bullshit.
forever.
I'm over it. I'm done.
Our lineage has been here forever.
25th generation.
And that's the only way we're going to see results. True results. We don't have to have a meeting with the DOT and the government. We never did. The most important meetings, I believe,
too fast.
because I've been to so many meetings.
My
in my
kids
life,
not gonna be able to throw
is
net and fish
the
down
meetings
in
within the families and the
our family
community.
barrel.
Because
our
that's when
land.
things get really
It's not gonna
happen.
happen.
Within us, within the families, within the communities.
The way it is. The way it is.
From the bridge.
Do you want to say anything?
Not really.
Okay, no worries.
But I love you.
I love you. Yay.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Oh, and then,
Hi.
and then, you know, like voting day.
Yeah.
Are they gonna open the bridges like every hour, like the Sundays? Because it's a Saturday.
It's
right?
a Saturday.
So we need a Sunday schedule so we all can get in. So I don't think anybody responded to their absentee ballot.
Okay. I think that
That was like a waste of time.
If you happen to be in Lihue at all for the next like couple
Well,
weeks,
I've been calling the, that office.
it'll be
the one
you
that
know
they
they've
left the
got
number.
like 10 days of voting in Lihue before that one big day. But yes, it's a problem. So thank you, and thank you for thinking about it.
Yes, because we gotta vote, right?
Yep, it makes a difference.
Makes a difference.
Okay, I know I want to go check out.
The ocean went, yeah, the ocean broke from out of there.
They don't call.
It's the pig in the ground pipe. No, okay. Sorry.
10 years we've been with that bridge.
NHOs, and I've been I guess I go in better light.
We want better light.
Look, I'm gonna rip them off right now. Hello, my name is Kaimiro Masura. I represent the Konohiki families and the family members and Ohana and loved ones of Wainiha and Haiana and Halelea. Pretty much, this is a meeting that we had with DOT and some of the other council members and government representatives on different areas, especially the Department of Transportation is going about some of the issues, especially, but my concern was that they didn't complete a Section 106 undertaking that they're supposed to follow through, Section 106 consultation process with the Native Hawaiian families and members of this area. And most of all, we've been informing them, and we had representatives of the families that showed up at the consultation, and they were pretty much, like weren't taken seriously and somewhat mocked of, and then prior to having funding and everything, you're supposed to have consultation with the Native Hawaiian families as states in the law and the handbook of the Section 106 Native Hawaiian consultation process, but they are bypassing that and pretty much like coming up to the community with their proposed plan that they already created, which is a violation of federal laws. So these are some of the concerns that we have before they go and plan and have their proposed projects and create all these projects that they spend a lot of the money and time on. They're supposed to be addressing the Native Hawaiian consultation and members before those actions.
What would you have them do right now?
What would you
right
want
now,
them to do?
Right now, they'll have to go back to their process because they haven't completed that process, and that would allow the Native Hawaiian families to put in their input, which would allow them the rightful and being environmentally friendly, and also like go through the right steps lawfully to complete this process. So mahalo.
All right, thank you.
I think Lolo Hawaiians that don't know what they're talking about is shouting, and I just give them food.
Hi. How are you? Oh my gosh. Hi, you want to smile and say hi? No, okay. Here, I'll turn it off.
I'm all sweaty.
It's getting too dark. You're so beautiful.